Hi, this is Tate with Black Bear Outdoors, blackbearoutdoors.com, and today we wanted to talk a little bit about two alternative rifles that I see out there. I'm a big proponent of buying a rifle as your home defense weapon. 12 gauges are great, definitely recommend you do that, but also having some version of a rifle, as much as we'd like to say, ranch rifle, sporting rifle, whatever you want to call it today, but some version of a semi-automatic clip-fed rifle for your prepping or home defense type issue. Now, the big ones out there for your high-powered ones are going to be your AK47 and your AR-15s. I don't care for either one of them. Not that they're bad guns, I just don't like some of the features they have, and they're a little pricey. The other alternative is, now I love Ruger 1022s. But this gun right here is a Savage Model 64 22 caliber 10-shot rifle. Super simple, right out of the box. It shoots it has a trigger pull of about 4 pounds. They're dead on accurate, if not as accurate as the 1022s. They shoot everything though. That's what I love about them. You don't have jams with these guys, they just shoot them. And they really do run great guns, and they just come right out of the box. Great shooters. They're just really good guns. So, big fan of these guys. Definitely want to talk a little bit about that. Alternative to the 1022, because 1022s right now, as we know, our government has kind of made it a little bit hard, and everybody's out there buying guns. So 1022s are hard to come by. These guys, anywhere from about the $100 to $200 range, usually used. And now, none of these guns are ours. I just happened to have grabbed a couple of these from friends that said that they wanted, they had some good luck with these guys. Now, these have been safety checked for all you crazy people out there that are safety checked. There's nothing in the chambers. But I really wanted to talk about a gun that just does not get enough credit today. A gun that just gets kind of like as the redheaded stepchild of the 223 battle type rifles. And that's the Mini 14, or this particular version is the Ranch rifle. Now, the Ranch rifle is made by Ruger. It's modeled after the M14 M1 Grand type deal, or even the M1 carbine. Now, these guns, they've had a real bad rep with the idea that they're great as far as they never break down, they don't have any problems, but they shoot 6 and 8 inch groups at 100 yards. So, 6 MOA. Okay? I have not found that to be the case. And in fact, this is a gun we just did a trigger job on here at Black Bear. We do Glock and Ruger trigger jobs. We did the $45 trigger job on this gun, and it's all done with no parts. We're taking the stock trigger and lowering the trigger down. So this trigger starts out at about the 6 to 7 pound range. We got this one all the way down to about 3 and 3¾ pounds, 3.5 pounds. So it's just about where you want it for a nice, battle rifle or sporting rifle. The other thing that we've done to this guy is we put what they call a MO rod, which is a stabilizing rod. With these guns, you want to go completely different than what you would with an AR. Free floating barrels on ARs. We want to clamp them down. And you'll see this part was even on some of your older M14s, or it comes on the M14. You'll see that little bar stick out with a clamp on it to help stabilize the barrel. Now with these guys, these are piston-driven guns, so they tend to fire everything right out of the box. So they'll shoot steel case. Not that you should, because I've been told that it does void your warranty, so I'm not encouraging you to do that. But I tell everybody that your gun, if you're going to be depending on it, especially for a survival prepping type weapon, home defense weapon, you should be able to fire every bit of ammo out there. Now, what I mean by that is I'll say, all the ammo that's out there right now, whether it's steel, 25% of the stuff that's being stockpiled right now is steel cased. If your gun won't shoot steel cased, in my opinion, you shouldn't have it. I have people come in here and say, well, my AR doesn't like that. Then get rid of it. That is a timing issue with the gun, and it should be gotten rid of. With piston-driven guns, and if you like to watch, there's lots of videos out there on what a piston-driven gun is, they just operate more reliably. But they've always said, Well, the big problem with a Mini is they don't shoot worth shit as far as accuracy. The accuracy is really poor on them. I have, one, never found that to be the case with any of the ones, but this is one of the brand new, this is a post-2005 gun. And like I said, we've had a trigger job to it, we put a decent 3x9 scope on it, it's got the standard scope rings, and it's got the heavier barrel and the mow rod. I definitely recommend these. This does cut the gun down. These come out of the box saying they're about a 4 MOA gun. I've heard they get down to about 3 MOA. I want to show you some things we did today with it. We went out and shot it just to see how it would shoot with some of the upgrades we did. I don't know if you can see this, and I can get boosted, zoom in. Now, if you zoom in right here, this guy right here is a group. Now, this was a flyer. We were having some trouble with the scope mount holding on, but these guys right here was a group that is just right at 1 inch to slightly under 1 inch, so 1 MOA at 100 yards. Now, I was actually pretty impressed with how well it kind of kept the standard all the way through. This is one other one, and this is not as impressive because there's some flyers here, and there was some other problems we were having, but these are actually, and both of these are just right at 1 inch, and I don't know if you can see those either, but there's a 1 inch group there and a 1 inch group there. So both of them at 100 yards. This is a new rifle, and I feel it's going to break in even a little better. We were shooting that hand holding, so off of a bench, of course, but we were hand holding it. There was no bipod or anything like that. So I felt really good about those. 1 MOA, that's about as good as you can get out of a semi-mac rifle. Now, can you get $5,000 ARs to shoot 1/4 inch groups? Yes, you can. Do I care about that? No. I want a rifle that's going to be reasonably priced. These guys go, if you can find them at your stores, for right around the $800 mark, $750, $825 out the door. Decent scope. The scope mounts directly to it. It's got a nice cheek well to it. These are, even in California, can have detachable 10-round magazines on them because they do not have pistol grips on them. They have been out of the bans most of the time, so they're like the ARs have always had problems with being banned. These guys have not. So that could change any day now, never know, but right now they do not. And I've shot thousands and thousands and thousands of rounds through minis. And minis tend to shoot, I feel, incredibly reliably and also incredibly accurate. You know, it matters on what you're trying to do. I consider these weapons to be a mid-range weapon, 1 to 200 yards, maxing out at about 300 yards. Can you shoot them farther? Yes, absolutely. I've heard guys that are shooting pop cans at 350 yards, so they obviously can shoot them way farther than that. Is it an effective round, a .223 round past that? Sure. You know, the military's using them all the way up to 600 yards. Now, the Mini itself, if you don't live in California, has the capability to shoot the 30-round magazines. Now, I do live in California, and I will preface this that this is a pinned, large or standard capacity magazine. But you can buy the Ruger magazines for them, and I do recommend you do that if you live out of the state. And even if you're living in the state, please look for Ruger magazines. They do work very, very fast, and they don't have issues. The only issues I've ever had with these guns is magazines. I will tell you to stay away from the Pro Mag version. I have used these, and they're crap, is what it is. I've had them where they won't even fit in the gun. So the Ruger ones, if you can afford it, spend a little extra money. It's better to have 3 magazines that work than 6 magazines that are crap. And so I'm a big fan of the Ruger version. And some of the older USA magazines and things like that I've had seem to work really well. Another kind of, so definitely something, this gun, like I said, 30-round magazines, and still being able to shoot really, really well. We were able to do some really nice groups, even down to 25 yards, just sitting there plinking around at almost, full auto speeds, but sitting there to really do a great job. Just something to think about, guys. If you can't afford a $2,000 AR, it might be a good idea to pick one of these up. And frankly, I won't own ARs because I've watched them break down all the time. Having issues. They are dumping gas into the chamber, and like I said, watched gas-operated guns versus piston-operated guns. Everybody's got their own thing. I'm a Chevy guy versus a Ford guy. Doesn't matter. I'm just saying, for the money, I think one of the best guns on the market, and a gun that I consider this to be the Glock of the 223 world. It is a gun that when you pull the trigger, it makes a bang. Another thing I really like about these guns are the safeties. The safety is on the actual trigger frame, like the old M14 and M1 Garand. So you pull the safety down. If you forget it, it's in the trigger guard. So if you pull the trigger and nothing happens, pull forward and pull. And it is a very nice safety if you work with it. So, and it's just, like I said, real simple in that area. You're not using your thumb and all those other things, which I don't like on a lot of the other guns. So, one of my favorite safeties out there. Very usable, very easy to flick with one finger, but a great gun. The other thing I really like about these guys, really good steel on these guys. The triggers are amazing. They've now went in and replaced a lot of the internal components with stainless steel even on the blued guns. I love blued guns because I don't like, telling everybody that I've got a gun. So I do like those. And plus, it has that good old sound of the M14, M1 Garand style guns. Very reliable. Definitely my pick for your pick for a home defense and guns like that. Again, these are not even my guns, but a gun I really do like. And like I said, I've shot them and sold them over the years. Great guns, but I think they're definitely one of the like I said, the redhead stepchild. The one that everybody's not talking about, but should be. These guns are great shooters, very comfortable, low kick. You can shoot them all day long, shoot 2 and 3 inch groups minimum, and have just a great day. So that is Tate with Blackbird Outdoors, and have a great day.